Approaching 90 seconds to launch. With 60 seconds remaining, this Progress will run on internal power and auto sequence will begin. One minute to Progress 90 launch, and now running on internal power. And there you can see the first umbilical retracting as separated from the booster. In about 20 more seconds, the second umbilical will also begin separating, initiating the launch sequence. Ignition. Second umbilical retracting. Soyuz running up to full power, and we have liftoff. Liftoff, the 90th Progress resupply ship. It has cleared the tower as it lights up the evening sky in Baikonur on its way to the International Space Station. Control parameters nominal as the first stage propels the 90th Progress skyward. Structural parameters nominal as well. Good first stage performance. Vehicle reported as stable, delivering 102 tons of thrust from its 4 boosters and single engine. Thruster chamber, as well as yaw pitch and roll, all nominal. Minute and 15 seconds into flight, and everything so far nominal for the 90th Progress. You are seeing the view from the upper stage cameras of the Progress as it is currently in its first stage of launch, heading toward the International Space Station. In less than 10 seconds, we'll begin the first stage separation and the launch shroud to be jettisoned to begin the core stage, the second stage of the journey. First stage confirmed separation. The boosters have departed, and the vehicle stable as the second stage gets underway. All structure parameters nominal on the 90th Progress journey towards the International Space Station. Everything continues to be right on track. As the core stage continuing its burn, now 2 minutes and 52 seconds into flight. Now 3 minutes into flight. Soyuz core stage performing as advertised. Launch shroud has been jettisoned. Second stage thrusters continuing to perform nominally, now 3.5 minutes into flight. Fairing separation has just been completed. Coming up now on 4 minutes into powered flight, approaching the halfway point of its journey into its preliminary orbit. Four and a half minutes of powered flight now remaining for the 90th Progress as it's begun its journey to the International Space Station. Approaching second stage separation. Four minutes of power flight remaining as we approach second stage separation. And we have confirmation that the second stage has separated, and the third stage will continue to push Progress into its preliminary orbit. Third stage engines continue to push Progress upwards as everything remains nominal. Everything continuing to work as advertised for Progress in its third stage, with a little less than 3 minutes left of powered flight. Yaw, pitch, and roll remain nominal as the third stage continues to push Progress into its orbit. This engine providing 67,000 pounds of thrust as we approach 6.5 minutes of powered flight. Powered flight 2 minutes of powered flight now remaining for the 90th Progress mission, with an on-time launch of 6:22:23 Central Time. Now 7 minutes into its journey to its preliminary orbit, and less than a minute and a half remaining in powered flight. Performance continues to be nominal, minute and a half of powered flight. Third stage continues to operate as advertised as we become closer to the remainder of a powered flight, approaching a minute and 10 seconds remaining. Eight minutes into today's flight, less than a minute remaining in a powered flight to its initial orbit for the 90th Progress resupply mission to the International Space Station. Seconds. 30 seconds of powered flight remaining. Vehicle remains stable as it begins to insert 125 statute miles above the Earth's surface for its initial orbit. Now standing by for third stage shutdown and separation. Third stage is shut down and spacecraft separation. Progress now separated from the third stage, and we are standing by for solar array deploy, which you can somewhat see in the right-hand edge of the Earth's atmosphere glistening against it. The solar arrays and navigational antennas have been confirmed to be deployed. And we will continue to stand by and await our initial views, our first views of the 90th Progress resupply mission as it is reaching its initial orbit after a successful on-time launch this morning from Launch Pad 6, Site 31 at Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan at 6:22 a.m. Central Time. And there is our first view from the external TV cameras from the Progress 90 as it is officially underway to the International Space Station after an on-time launch this morning of 6:22 a.m. Central Time, 7:22 a.m. Eastern, and in the evening hours of 5:22 locally in Baikonur. And now the information will populate and help us set up for the docking and rendezvous portion, which will come on Saturday morning as it closes in and executes a sequence of burns to catch up to the International Space Station. And that docking currently scheduled for 8:36 a.m. Central Time, 9:36 a.m. Eastern Time. A successful launch this morning atop a Soyuz 2.1A booster. The 90th Progress resupply mission has gone underway to the International Space Station with the on-time departure of 6:22 a.m. Central Time. And that'll wrap up our launch coverage today, but that'll set us up for docking on Saturday morning, in which that'll be a scheduled docking of 8:36 a.m. Central Time, 9:36 a.m. Eastern, in which NASA Plus coverage will get underway at 7:45 a.m. Central, 8:45 a.m. Eastern. Another successful launch as Progress 90 begins its journey, a 2-day, 34 orbit to the International Space Station.